was always you. It was always you.
Hey, yeah, Neda, letting love lead is really beautiful, and that's what I really want to do it. But sometimes it's really hard to trust God. Okay, so how can you keep your willingness to trust God?
That's a beautiful question. When do you experience that it's hard to trust God? Like in what kind of moments do you feel it's hard?
Yeah, sometimes if yeah, the word seems to have become worse, or
Mm.
sometimes I cannot get what I really want. Yeah, yes. Actually, I am pretty sure that I will follow the God all the time, but sometimes my close friends give up on the Course in Miracles because it's really hard for them to trust God. So, but it's yeah, because it's yeah, sometimes the situation seems really bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but it's really difficult to keep the willingness all the time.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
so I very interested in how you keep your
yeah.
motivation or willingness to choose the love instead of f the fear. Yeah.
I get it.
Mm.
Well, personally, my motivation to keep choosing God and keep choosing love is because in my life, I actually really see, and in my inner world, I see that the more I let love lead, the more peaceful my mind becomes and the more happy I am. So for me, the motivation is actually like, wow, I see it actually works. The more I put love in the driver's seat, like now I can really see that. But I do remember, and maybe this relates more to the question and the people that, where that question is coming from, that in the past, there would be so much fear connected to actually a subconscious belief that God was not fully good and that following him meant me sacrificing what I want, and like as if now following God means to wear this big cross on my back and I have to suffer because I live a life in devotion. And for me, it's really a recognizing, and sometimes it still comes up to remember that for the ego, forgiveness feels like a sacrifice. Um, because it is for the ego. For the ego, it is because you're sacrificing fear. It's not a real sacrifice, but that's what we're sacrificing when we truly apply the real forgiveness that A Course in Miracles is teaching us. It's a sacrifice of fear. And the ego is the belief in fear. So so it's of course a very it's very normal if there's a lot of resistance and a lot of fear that comes up, because it might be that once you really start following spirit, that yes, things will fall away, relationships will end, maybe you're guided to leave your job, or maybe maybe there's things that you were very attached to and you're being guided to let those go, which doesn't necessarily have to be, anything can be used by the spirit. But I get that, that may trigger a lot of fear, and there's a beautiful part also in the manual for teachers about trust and the development of trust, where Jesus goes more deeply into those stages of trusting. And so it might be nice for people to read that as well. It's in the, I think, in the beginning of the manual for teachers, you see the different stages of trust. Maybe you can put it in the chat, a link to it or something, or in the the little text. I don't know. But I think just being very most important thing, to be very kind with yourself and to not pretend to be the perfect Course in Miracles student. I think a lot of people on the spiritual path, but especially in a Course in Miracles world, they want to do it all perfectly, and they want to seem like they get the course all the time, or they really, one of the biggest pitfalls I think a lot of course people make is spiritually bypassing. So whenever something happens, it's like, oh, but it's all an illusion. It's all fine. God is perfect love. Nothing of the world can touch me because the world is not real. And I think it's so important. It's so important to allow yourself to, like one of my songs, feel it to heal it. I think that was the theme we had last year, right? Feel it to heal it. So that is just so important. So even with the resistance that comes up, allow it, look at it, don't push it down, give it in our mini retreat. We'll also learn to really give it voice with, just express it, let it out, not stuff it down, because whatever you resist persists, they say, right? So whatever we suppress, it's like, I'm seeing this image of what we used to do as kids when we were in a bathtub. We would get like a bottle and we would push the bottle down, and like the more you would push it down, and it would like it would come up. I don't know if you guys would do that. And I'm seeing that image now because it's such a symbol for what happens with when we push our feelings down. The more we push it down, the more we're gonna project it outwards. So it's still gonna come back to us. So I think allowing that fear, that resistance to be there, let it be part of your Course in Miracles studies. Bring it to spirit, talk to spirit, say like, hey, this really frightens me. Share it with a friend that doesn't make it real, that is not gonna try to fix you or give advice, but it's just there to listen. Like, hey, there's some fear coming up for me around this. Like, I'm feeling the guidance, for instance, to leave a relationship, but there's so much fear coming up, and is that okay? Is that allowed to be there? Yes, because of course, like, for instance, this example with leaving a relationship, it triggers our deepest belief in separation, in the belief that we're separate from God. That's why death and divorce and those things, they really hit like such a core wound of believing that God left us. So just to be really mild with yourself and talk to yourself as if you would to your best friend. So often we say things to ourselves that if our best friends would tell us that, or if we would tell our best friend that, we would not be friends with them, right? We'd be like, what are you saying? That's so mean. And yet we talk to ourselves like that, So yeah, letting love lead is really also about, or maybe mostly even about letting everything that is in the way of letting love lead, letting that come to the surface and actually celebrate that. So celebrate when like there's a blockage coming up, it's like, oh, good. Like, encourage yourself to let that come up, because that's the work we're doing here. Again, if we were already completely perfect and perfectly happy, what need would we have to study A Course in Miracles, right? So we need to stop like pretending that we all have it already figured out and we're totally zen every day and there's glitter lights coming out of our third eye, and just be super real and authentic with ourselves. Yeah, and the voice, again, that's what we'll do in the event. The thing with the voice and the way that we use it, you cannot be real with the voice. It's impossible to lie when we do this kind of work with really using our voice for healing. you've noticed it last year, like without even wanting it, you instantly lose control. Like instantly people were crying and eventually laughing out loud. But it's like how hard you try to have control the moment you let your voice be in charge. It's like, whoa, everything just comes out. So it's great for people that find it hard to connect with their emotions, or, you know, that get very much in their head. It's almost like those like plant medicine journeys, but then without the drugs, without the side effects, without, you know, any of that, because we just use our own voice. And it's also really good to mention now here for people that are like, I don't dare to use my voice, is that this is really not about singing, and it's not about singing beautifully. Nobody is asking to perform or, you know, go and sing a song by themselves. Yeah, my work is really not about that. Although I've noticed every time that the more honest we become, and the more authentic we allow our voice to be released, every time it's the most beautiful sound that I ever hear. Every time it's like angels are a choir of angels are singing to me. So it's, yeah, the voice is a real reflection of who we are, and it's such a powerful tool to really help us get an experience of what A Course in Miracles is teaching, and get out of the head into the heart, and where the experience is, where God is. Also, God is not in the book. It's not in our thinking head, in the intellectual mind. It's in the heart, you know, in the feeling, letting it truly in. And I think it's time for that as well. It's also not crazy that a lot of Course teachings are very much focused on the intellectual, because again, it's a way of the ego to, okay, let's keep it there. Let's keep it there, you know. Let's not let it go beyond the intellect, because the ego is actually trying very hard to keep us away from the heart, keep us away from really truly opening our heart and letting love lead, letting love in. So yeah, and to remember, also laugh, like we can have fun with it. I think that's the whole thing, right? The whole metaphysics of A Course in Miracles is that we forgot to laugh. You know, we forgot to laugh at the tiny mad idea. So we will also laugh during this mini retreat. We will remember to laugh. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, for the especially for very serious college students who wants to be the right student, yeah, can also be, yeah. So your mini retreat will help, yeah, will be really helpful for those, yeah, serious students who are very afraid of, yeah, letting
Yeah,
their true emotions, yeah, come out. So thank you,
for sure.
yeah, so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Ken Wapnick say once that I love so much. He said, a good Course in Miracles student is a bad Course in Miracles student who forgives himself. And so beautiful. That's what it is, you know? Yeah, really be gentle.
Thank you.
I put love in a driver's seat. I will follow wherever she takes me. That's where I need to